welcome back. So, we got a nice little Swordcraft deck here. It is barely a Swordcraft deck, let's be serious. It is a Neutralcraft deck that is of a Swordcraft variant. In particular, what I want to show you is a fun interaction you can get between Into the Looking Glass, which will turn everything in your hand that costs 7 or less into a neutral card and draw you a card. Most important part, it draws first. Order of operations, always important in card games. Luminous Mage, who, if you've played this game before and you've gone up against Swordcraft, you've seen. It lets you evolve a commander for free, and it brings a commander into play with it. So it gives it a free evolution target, or itself, it counts as a commander. And Kiss of the Princess, which will give a neutral follower +2/+4 and changes that into a Swordcraft commander. I made that sound like that was the end. That wasn't the end. The last card is Maisie, Red Riding Hood, whose evolve effect is destroy an enemy follower if you have an allied neutral follower in play. So your opponent will never see this coming, but if you have parts A, B, C, and D in your deck, this can happen for you. I only have one Maisie, but I might craft more because it's a very good removal. And again, this combo, I've pulled this off pretty routinely, considering I only have one of this in the deck. Other important cards are Council of Card Knights. It summons 3 minions, but they're neutral, despite the fact that they are coming out of a Swordcraft card. They are actually considered neutral by the game, which means they're going to pair very well with Actress Faria, who of course will give everyone a +1/+1 when she evolves if they're neutral, and everyone's most hated card, Alice, Wonderland Explorer, who gives all neutral cards in your hand and in play a +1/+1. This is the most expensive thing I've ever crafted in this game, but the most effective way to do missions is to have a viable deck of every type. Not too viable, but viable enough. And Neutralcraft's the way to go. If you have Alice, Wonderland Explorer, you can make any deck, well, not any deck, you can make a deck for every class, as long as you go Neutralcraft and you capitalize on the fun combos each of those different classes offers. Like, you know, Maisie. Maisie is a Swordcraft card, but if you have neutral followers in play, her effect goes off. Other card we're going to be really showing the value of here is Impartial Sticks, a card who I hate getting in Arena, because I can never make an effective neutral deck that has that many neutral cards. But if you are playing a constructed Neutralcraft deck, putting these in your deck and really leaning hard on neutral means if you can get this in the early game, like on turn 4, turn 5, turn 6, you're gonna have a nice big body for a low cost, and all you have to do is have more than 20 neutral cards left in your deck. So you have to obviously play them before you've drawn through half your deck. I also have a Cinderella, but I only have one, and that's why it's in the deck, because why not? Rapunzel, again, it's a cheap, big body, but I cannot make this card work out for me, but it's just because of my opponents. I've gone up against a lot of controller decks, and they've effectively shut Rapunzel down before I got any value out of her. But enough yammering on, let's show you this fun surprise evolve combo I'm talking about. Alright, going into first game here, and our opponent is Havencraft. So you're going to see what I meant by an effective controlling situation where I just can't get Rapunzel to ever go off because she's locked down. Those of you who play a lot of this game are probably already going, it's probably from Iron Maiden. You're right, it is Iron Maiden that's going to be keeping Rapunzel on the lockdown, but whatever. So not the best opening hand here, made worse by 2 5 draws. Which means on turn 2, I'm going to be forced to play Actress, which is a huge waste. You really want Actress to show up when you have a relatively full board and then an evolve points and get maximum value. But whatever. You gotta do what you gotta do. And they plop a 1/3 ward. Not easy to get through this early in the game. Usually you have 2 attack. So of course, goodbye Actress, they're not going to let me get off and evolve on that, and they get the benefit of Sleeping Beauty becoming a 2/3 for free. And there's the first of the Iron Maidens. Fuck you, Iron Maiden. But that's fine. Again, it's the surprise evolve that's going to be showing up later that's going to catch our opponent off guard and really push us into victory. And that's one of the best parts about Shadowverse, in my opinion, is the evolve mechanic. Most card games, going first is a significant advantage. This, player 2 getting 3 evolve points allows for a lot of tempo shifts, a lot of pushes, and it keeps the game very exciting for the whole mid-game. Like, the whole evolve and trade back and forth, you never know what's gonna stick, what's not gonna stick. It makes it a very exciting mid-game. And the fact that there are ways to get more evolve points later on makes the late game also pretty exciting. We have Dark Angel Olivia, who gives you 3 evolve points. There's Luminous Mage, who's going to give you additional evolve targets for free. There are other cards, whose names I forget, that give you 1 or 2 evolve points, depending on the situation. It's a fun and exciting game. I love Shadowverse. It's just so dynamic. So as you see, I have the 2 most important parts, and there's the last part. Well, no, I still need 1 more part, but we could start the chain now. The whole idea is if you have Into the Looking Glass and Luminous Mage in your hand, you're done for that part. You just want to play this whenever, as long as you have Luminous Mage, and you're going to be okay for the second part. Because the surprise comes from the fact that this becomes a neutral card. So you won't be able to evolve it anymore, but you will be able to evolve a certain Red Riding Hood. But enough of me talking about it, let's just watch it happen. I know I said that as if it was about to happen. That was a lie. Instead, we need to make sure we have no evolution points left, that way the surprise is fully effective. So we're going for the trade, we want to have a nice empty board here. They're out of evolve points, we're out of evolve points, which is going to make them a little bit complacent. Tribunal, of course, with the excellent snipe there. There was a long time when I first started playing this game that I was convinced that they were somehow selecting a target, but no. It's random. So I'm just gonna pile bodies on the board here in the hopes that we can get them off. I wanted to let that hang in the air there, my messed up line. Hoping we can get off a combo with Alice, but we're never drawing her. But we have activated what will be a fun turn 10 surprise, and it's really going to change the whole flow of the game. Another Judge. Judge went away for a while, but I'm guessing it's back in the meta. I've been seeing a lot of it recently. Again, I love how varied the meta is for this game. So I'm plopping out this, a Red Riding Hood, turning Red Riding Hood into a commander, which means I could evolve her for free, destroy a minion, and trade. And that alone, I think, is enough for them to just give up, especially when that doesn't connect with the body they were hoping for. But man, feels real good to have that happen. And of course, we have Grimnir here, who's gonna do 4 damage to everybody, which is a nice effective board clear, and good face damage. And of course, they have no way of coming back from that, so they're gonna get their card, see that it's not Themis' Decree, and just go off. Bye! So yeah, a good effective Swordcraft deck, Neutralcraft. For our second and final game with this deck here, we're going against Bloodcraft, which had me very nervous going in because I don't really have a way of dealing with Spawn of the Abyss. But thankfully, we do have impartial sticks. Strix. God damn you. Didn't even notice that R in your name. Now we have 2 of them. And I don't think Bloodcraft was ready for for what's about to happen, but Impartial Strix here is really going to carry this match. Into Looking Glass, draws first. That's right, Luminous Mage. Again, I was shocked at the consistency I was able to pull off this surprise evolution and destroy combo when I only have one copy of Red Riding Hood in the deck. But it's been effective enough that I'm going to probably craft another. I'm waiting for end of the month when we're gonna... Oh man, I don't know when this is gonna air. I'm waiting for the nerfs that may or may not have already happened depending on where you are in the future. Because the best time to disenchant your cards after a nerf. Want to get that full dust value or vial value. Oh, they conceded. This was a different match than I thought it was, but hey, you got to see Impartial Strix there, just destroy them. So yeah, I just wanted to show off that fun combo with Looking Glass, Mazy Red Riding Hood, Luminous Mage, and Kiss of the Princess. I think it's a neat surprise evolve point and a destroy effect. And again, to the point where I'm going to be crafting more of these Red Riding Hoods because I like that combo quite a bit. It's a real good way of swinging the game in your favor in the late game, which is where this deck sometimes struggles, because if you've made it to the late game and you haven't won, it's usually a bad sign. As you can see, I have not been having great draw consistency with getting Alice out there, which is why I'm often making my way into the late game. Despite having 3 of you, I spent so many files on you. But I don't regret it. It means I'm able to make a viable deck in every class, even if I don't have good class cards. Which happens sometimes. Like, personally, when I started the game, I had a pretty big focus on Runecraft and Bloodcraft, so most of my best cards are really stuck in those 2 decks, leaving me with, oh, and also Forestcraft. I was one of those Roach players back in the day. Not that I'm not a Roach player anymore. I still run Roach. It's still a good card. But that's it for this Swordcraft deck. I hope you liked it. I'll have the link to a deck description. No descriptions of dicks, please. A deck description in the description below, which will of course have a deck code if you want to give this a try. I'm sure you're already looking at this and like, what's going on? You know, 1 Cinderella, 1 Hector. I only have 1 Hector and 1 Cinderella, and I try only to craft cards that I'm really excited about, and Cinderella's just a good card. It's not an exciting card, it's just, you know, a good body for a cheap price. That's not exciting. More exciting is stuff like Dark Alice, which you could do, obviously, that first deck I highlighted on the channel, the Dark Alice control deck. Stuff like that I'll happily craft, because I love weird combos that require a lot of thought. Just, you know, wow, good stats. I'm not gonna waste vials on that. Exception, of course, being Alice, because I wanted to have good decks of every class. That way, when it's win 5 games as Dragoncraft, instead of heaving a sigh and waiting to cycle that quest, now I can. Even if it's not a very good deck, it's good enough that I could work my way through the games and make it happen. Anyway, next time we come back, I don't know which deck is going to be highlighted. Maybe one of the Runecraft decks, because I like those. We'll find out when it happens. But for now, have a good one, bye-bye, I love you. See you later, or something, I don't know.